man, as the days go on, the Myles Garrett compensation just gets worse. Okay. Everything that I read, I feel like it's going down a path that the Eagles should not go down for trading for Myles Garrett because that trade is not looking like luxury anymore. And another free agent for the Eagles at edge rusher is in play. Is a target going into free agency that actually has a connection with Vic Fangio. We're going to be talking about that. And we're going to be talking about the Eagles' top 30 visits. The first visit is already happening, and we're going to talk about that player as well. So let's get into it.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. This video is sponsored by BetUS, so go check them out if you guys have not. So a lot to discuss for the Philadelphia Eagles, okay? The Myles Garrett situation, I don't even know what to think about it anymore because it's just getting worse and worse. Whether the Browns are just starting their offers really high right now, and as time goes on, this is going to be a post-June trade designation because it takes their cap from like 34, 36 million to like 14 in dead cap. So it helps them out tremendously. It lowers that dead cap by a lot. But this trade isn't seeming like the luxury that I thought it was going to be. I mean, look, I could be wrong. They could make this trade. We could be like wowed by this trade. Howie Roseman will not be fleeced this offseason for another Super Bowl champion, another open Super Bowl window in the 2025 season this season. Okay. But it looks like the Philadelphia, look, Myles Garrett, look, at 30 years old, I have a limit to what I'm going to give up. If he was 26, 27 years old, things could change. You could give up 2 first rounders. It's easy. I'd give up 2 first rounders for Myles Garrett if he was 26, 27. But he's not. He's 30. So it really changes a lot because he's got a 2-3 year window ahead of him. You guys know the news. I don't got to repeat myself over and over again. But hearing other news from the Philadelphia Eagles at edge rusher, if they start to say this is getting too sour for us, let's go a different direction when it comes to, getting a pass rusher. And the news was coming out that Khalil Mack is a potential free agent target for the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. This would make a lot of sense. Whether they want to keep Graham at 37 and then keep a 34-year-old with Khalil Mack. Now, Khalil Mack only had 6 sacks last year, had 17 sacks in the 23 season, which I thought it was kind of crazy. Just because, I thought that Khalil Mack would have been traded after the 23 season, after that 16 sack season. And I'm actually shocked because as old as he was, being as productive as he was, and they weren't close to a championship, why wouldn't you trade him and try to get something for him? But they ended up keeping him around. So at 34 years old, and when he comes in the building, you say, look, you're not starting. You're going to be a depth piece. You're going to be a rotational, deep depth piece for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I honestly think he would work really well. And he loves Vic Fangio. The relationship is fantastic. Okay, he was traded to the Bears when he was, 26, 27 years old when, the Bears gave up, from Vegas to the Bears gave up a first, a second, and third, and like 1 draft. And I know there was like 2 or 3 more picks for other years after that, which is kind of crazy. That's when you give up big draft picks for an edge rusher that's going into his prime at 26 years old. That's the perfect time to sign an edge rusher, going down that direction. So if the Eagles went down this road, I would be perfectly fine with it because at the end of the day, you're going to have your 32nd pick in the first round intact. And honestly, I think that 32nd pick might go to a defensive lineman. I mean, we got to see what they do with the cornerback 2 spot, what they do at guard. Those things need to happen in free agency. If they make no moves at a couple of spots, then I'm going to think that they might be turning a different direction with that 32nd pick. The Eagles have won without Khalil Mack. They've won without Myles Garrett on that defensive line. But yes, you're losing Josh White. You're losing Milton Williams. You're getting compensatory picks for those guys in 2026 next year. So I completely get that. But this move, I'd be totally down for it. I think he would be very dominant here. This would be probably one of the best defensive lines he's been around in a lot of years, and he could thrive under Fangio. And if Fangio gets this man signed, okay, then I think we're going to see success. After seeing what he did with Bond and just seeing Fangio, this would be the first time, if Khalil Mack comes to the Eagles, this would be the first time he has brought a pass player to Philadelphia that's a rotational or a starter for him. Okay, the first time. A lot of these defensive coordinators that go to other teams, they usually bring some of their past players that were played with them on their last roster or something like that. The Eagles didn't bring any players from Miami or anything like that. Obviously, those players couldn't handle Vic Fangio, and they were pretty much happy that he was leaving, and they couldn't handle a hard-nosed coach kind of yapping at them all day. So obviously, they just weren't tough enough to have Vic Fangio around. But having Khalil Mack would be the first one, and I would be very open to it. Part of me says if you don't sign Brandon Graham, you make this move. Would they make a Brandon Graham move and a Khalil Mack move? I need to draft somebody. I need some youth this season, whether it's at DT or whether you're going to draft another edge rusher if someone slides down like James Pierce Jr., if he does, or somebody else. Regardless, I guess we'll see what happens. But I would be very open to a player like this coming to Philadelphia. Very open to it. Khalil Mack, I think, would play really well here. I think his numbers would be a lot better if he was here. So we'll see what happens in that regard of Khalil Mack, and seems like there is some interest there, which is pretty good. Now I want to talk. Now I want to talk about the last thing, the Eagles top 30 visits. The Eagles get their first visit. Okay, and it is Anthony Belton from North Carolina State. Okay, now I'm a little bit of a noob because I don't know a lot of these guys, but he's 6'6", 336 pounds. Okay, 3-year starter at left tackle. Has only played tackle. Obviously, great run blocker, pass protection, working on it. But they ran a run zone base scheme at NC State. His Senior Bowl looked really good. I actually saw a lot of clips of that, and he's really athletic. He's got 36-inch arms. His wingspan is huge. He's got athletic ability. He can pull. I mean, he's got it. It's all there. Now, the thing was, I think from what I read, they didn't meet at the combine at all. Okay. But he did mention that he will play guard if he has to. Now, I think he's only played left tackle. Okay, I don't think he's played right tackle at all. So the whole thing with Mekhi Becton is going to be an interesting thing if they do re-sign him. They might not be. Maybe this is why maybe they're not re-signing him. Okay, because Lane Johnson's retiring in a couple years, so they're looking for their backup guard / right left tackle. Fred Johnson's a free agent. Don't know if they're re-signing him back. It looks like they're not. I haven't seen any re-sign yet of Fred Johnson coming back because that's our backup left tackle. I don't even think we have a backup right tackle behind Lane Johnson. And Becton, if they do sign him, they could move him to right tackle in the future in a couple years. And then, between Steen or the guy from Michigan, or they want to just, kind of sit back and see what happens here. But Anthony Belton, really, it seems like, they have a lot of interest. Now, he's projected to go 3rd, 4th round, something between there. But there was a quote that he said that I was actually really happy about. He was like, I'm gonna prove I'm better than you. I'm nice off the field, but on the field, I'm a dog. That's what he said at the combine, which I liked. But Jeff Stoutland, if he brings Anthony Belton, okay, to Philadelphia, he's gonna turn him into a guard. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna put him at right guard. He's gonna be in the competition at right guard. Okay, between the guy from Michigan, I'm always messing up his name all the time. Between the guy from Michigan, Tyler Steen, and now having Anthony Belton, if they do draft him, and I think that's perfect to draft a tackle / guard in the in the 3rd, 4th round. I think that's perfect because I think they need to hit on some other ones, whether it's going to be tight end, whether it's going to be defensive line, DT, something like that. We'll see what happens. But this is I watched some tape on him. He's very athletic, and I think it'll take a year to produce him. He might not start this year. Maybe he will. I don't know. But the athletic ability is there. He just never has played on the right side, and he never switched to guard. He's never switched to guard before. So potentially this could be a mid-round pick for the Philadelphia Eagles. That could be your future. If Mekhi Becton is not signed, they could still draft him in the mid-rounds. I think they really need to still draft him. Okay, because if Lane Johnson retires and Mekhi Becton is here on an extended contract, then potentially, yeah, they can either keep him, keep Mekhi Becton at right guard by the time that happens, or they move Anthony Belton to that right tackle spot. So there's a lot of different combinations on what happens going forward. You know, Trevor Keegan from Michigan. I always say his name wrong all the time. And I like that kid, and I think he's going to do good things in the offseason. And Tyler Steen, you know, needs to stay healthy for an offseason. That's really important. Seems like Mekhi Becton and Tyler Steen were neck to neck, and then Tyler Steen started to get hurt. And then Mekhi Becton took the job, not because of his injury, but he was just better. And I think we all know that. That first-round talent was dragged right out of Mekhi Becton. So, we'll see if this changes things, if Mekhi Becton stays or goes. So third, fourth round pick for the Eagles, and that is your first number one top 30 visit for the Eagles going forward. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Like the video if you guys haven't, because it helps out so much. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Myles Garrett's going to be too expensive? And if the Eagles did change direction, say, hey, we're keeping our 32nd pick, what if you signed a Khalil Mack in free agency? Would you be against that? Because honestly, I wouldn't be against it for a depth piece. Why not? And they still have that 32nd pick, and somebody could drop right and land right in Howie's hands. I'm perfectly fine with that going forward. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Make sure you order Shakedown merch. The new Jalen Hurts merch is nice. Go check it in the description and in the live pin comment as well. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up, follows up. Peace out, guys. Peace, peace.